Guys, I made a mistake. Last year, I almost killed my hydrangea. Hydrangeas are very tough, but they're not winterproof. In this video, I will be showing you what to look out for to make sure your hydrangea is not struggling, but more importantly, how to keep them alive during the winter months. And you're going to want to watch this video from the beginning to end because I will be revealing a product inside your garage that may be killing your hydrangea and you don't even know it. Let's dive in. Winter can be deadly for hydrangeas. Frost can kill flower buds, dry out roots, and make your plant look completely lifeless. But looks, guys, can be deceiving. Here are some danger signs you need to check right now when it comes to your hydrangea. Lightly scratch a stem near the base. If it's green inside, there's hope. If it's brown and dry, well, that's trouble. Next step, gently bend a branch. Flexible means alive. If it snaps easily, that's partly dead. Look closely at the buds. Shriveled and brown buds mean frost damage has already occurred, but healthy buds are a sign your plant can bounce back. If any of the signs I mentioned are happening to your hydrangea, you need to act now. First thing you should do is to add 3 to 4 inches of organic mulch like straw or shredded leaves to insulate the roots. Use burlap or frost cloth to shield the plant from harsh winds. Secure the wrap loosely to avoid breaking the stems. Now, what if your hydrangea has old stems that look like this and new buds? Well, the good news is that your hydrangea is still alive. The bad news is that it's still struggling. So if you have a hydrangea in a pot like this that has both buds and old stems, you have to protect this hydrangea ASAP. Meaning that you should put your hydrangea in an unheated garage or shed to protect its precious, delicate blooms from frost. Just because your hydrangea has no buds doesn't necessarily mean it's dead. It's still okay. Remember the scratch test that I suggested? But that works on what's called new wood. This is a hydrangea that grows on old wood. And unfortunately, lots of old wood looks really old and brittle. So one way to find out whether your hydrangea is okay is look at the base. If it still has buds right here, buds popping out, that means your hydrangea is still good and is surviving. But again, you must protect your hydrangea and put it in an unheated shed or garage to protect its buds from frost. Another way you can be hurting your hydrangea is by pruning. I know this does not look the best, but pruning can really harm your hydrangea during the winter months. This acts like a covering. This helps to protect your hydrangea's stem. If you cut this and the wind comes in and the frost comes in, it goes all the way down into the stem, possibly the roots. It causes more damage than good. So again, put down the scissors, put down the pruners. You don't have to prune your hydrangeas during the winter months. Now say if you already have pruned, it's still okay. What you can do is cover your hydrangea with a frost cloth or some type of covering to protect its delicate stems. And when it comes to watering during the winter months, hydrangeas don't need a lot of water. Cut back on the watering of your hydrangeas. If you water too much, you could actually be killing your hydrangea. So what you can do is just keep an eye on your hydrangea. Keep an eye on the soil. Just scratch the soil. If it's really dry, then give it a light drink and then hold off on watering for the next couple of weeks. So guys, we talked about watering, we talked about mulching, and we talked about the importance of covering your hydrangea to protect its precious blooms. One way, again, is by putting it in an unheated garage or shed. But during my research, I found out there are some items in garages that really could be killing your hydrangea and you don't know it. Salt from de-icing can leach into the soil, damaging roots and making the plant more vulnerable to winter stress. Use sand or gravel instead of salt near your garden beds, and that goes for hydrangeas or any plants in your garden. And for you guys who are in warmer climates, you're not off the hook either. Your old shed or garage may also have items in it that could be harming your hydrangea, like weed killer, paint, and other chemicals. You want to make sure that when you put your hydrangea pots inside your unheated garage or shed, that you're not putting it near chemicals or any paint thinner or anything that could leach onto your hydrangea and make them more vulnerable during the winter months. If you may be wondering, why does her hydrangea look like that? Why should I even listen to her? Her hydrangea looks dead. I can tell you my hydrangea is not dead. Unfortunately, this is what hydrangeas look like in colder climates. They really do look that bad. If you're in a warmer climate, it doesn't look this dead. But I can guarantee you my hydrangea is not dead. In fact, I have over 25 hydrangeas in my garden. My husband's always telling me you don't need another hydrangea, but I have to confess I am a hydrangea addict. And I only lost one hydrangea when I started collecting hydrangeas about 6 years ago. And that was because I overwatered, I didn't mulch, and I didn't protect it against the cold winter frost. So if you follow these steps, your hydrangea will survive during the winter months. I just want to make one last point. Just because your hydrangea doesn't look good during the winter months doesn't mean that you're doing anything wrong. Here in the colder climates, hydrangeas are always going to look like that. We are always trying to protect our hydrangea buds because they freeze over during the cold winter months. As opposed when you live in the warmer climates, you really don't have to worry about that. In the warmer climates, they have to worry about really hot, steaming sun burning their hydrangeas and keeping their hydrangeas hydrated during the summer months. So the takeaway is that hydrangeas are really resilient. They are hardy plants. They're made to survive harsh winters, and they naturally do most of the work, but it's up to us to help them bounce back. Not pruning too early during the winter months by not putting them in a heated garage or a basement or shed near chemicals or salt that can make them vulnerable. By covering them up, all of these things will help your hydrangea to survive during the winter months. Don't overwater them and keep them in a space free of chemicals. Guys, I know that was a lot of information in this deep dive on how to keep your hydrangea alive during the winter months. If you got any good useful information from this video, please do me a favor and like this video. Better yet, share it with your family. And why don't you just join the family? Because I have lots of tips that I will be providing you during the winter months to keep your garden beautiful. Speaking of winter, evergreens are absolutely gorgeous during the winter months. Do you still have yours? Don't throw yours away, because I have a video on what to do with your old evergreens that will help keep your garden thriving during the winter months. You definitely want to check out that video. Keep on watching.